the county provides. It's a pretty darn nice county, but yet we got to provide these programs. And people stood up at this conference and said, what do you want me to do? Eliminate my road patrol? And here again, this is something that I don't want to threaten the sheriff about. We've always talked about it, but other people are talking about it across New York State. How do they best spend their local share dollars? And that really is what it comes down to.
Well, I had a long chat with the chaplain over at the Slammer, and of course they just spent it was supposed to be $19 million
Yes.
for what was it, 12 new cells or something like that, ridiculous small number. And I asked Joe about that, and he indicated, well, they'll come in within budget. And I said, I bet you there'll be 25. It was 25.
Yeah, it was 25. I was on the legislature.
I explained to him that I would, I'd just take one of those $1 million and I'll build an 800-room Howard Johnson's and put a lot of razor wire around it, some mean dogs and a couple of guards, and that'll cover everybody in the world. But wait a minute, what my point is, Fred, the preacher over there told me, look, he said, the biggest problem we have here is half the people in here are sort of minor drug charges. If you just forgot that and said, get out of here, take your damn drugs, just leave us alone, we'd save, over the long run, billions of dollars.
Well, and that's one more thing, you know, I would love to see drug and alcohol testing for people that are welfare recipients. But we are told that will violate their civil rights.
That's just tough titty.
Yeah, well, I know, but I haven't
teachers have to have one.
I understand that, and I have to have one as a CDL license holder. But, you know, this whole drug and alcohol thing, I think you'll find that more and more people cannot pass pre-employment physicals. And this is a problem. Some of these people aren't able to do that, can't be employed at certain jobs. And that's kind of a hush-hush thing behind the scenes.
So all you got to do if you don't want to work is just smoke a little pot before you go down for your physical, right?
I didn't say that, but if you can't pass a drug and alcohol test in a lot of situations, you don't pass a physical. And so that's what I'm saying. So we have a lot of people unemployed in this county, but we also have a lot of jobs, and you got to start somewhere. And when you roll back some of these entitlements, you may force some of these people to go out and work.
Yeah. Good morning, caller. We got a call.
Yes.
Let's go here. We got two more waiting too. Good morning, caller.
Great.
Hello. I guess Mort's at the switchboard again.
I thought John was running the switchboard.
Reed.
Oh, there we go. We got our caller. Hello, miss. What's up?
How are you? I was just wondering, I saw something about a bicentennial event down to the Chautauqua Suites. I was wondering if Mr. Crosscut could explain that for us.
Well, I attended that Wednesday evening. It was well attended. There was probably 250 people there, and it was the kickoff of our 200th year celebration. And there was two people down there, Larry Barmore, a legislator, and Ron Lemon, a now clerk. One was Mr. Orton, I believe. Randy, he was down there, was Mr. Orton and Mr. Prendergast. And they did a little skit, and it was very, very nice. The whole thing was put on and brought together by Michelle Henry. County executive served as master of ceremonies. The legislators present at the present time all got certificates. We also signed a commendation there, and Judge Gerasi was there as one of the former county executives, and there were several other county executives there that were honored. And it was just a wonderful evening, and to wrap it off, we had a big cake that we had, but it was just a great kickoff to the sesquicentennial celebration of our 200th anniversary. So I was there, and it was a great turnout. So
I already missed it then?
You missed it. It was last Wednesday, but I know the town of Chautauqua is having an event April 9th, and Randy and I talked before the show. They're going to have a celebration at the Beams Point Stowe Ferry, and that night we got passports to go around the different events, and all these events will be, you know, co-sponsored by the committee, and so we expect a great summer. So you did miss the one Wednesday evening. Sorry about that. I know it was in the Post-Journal, but if you don't get the Post-Journal, then I guess probably you wouldn't have probably seen it.
Okay, what's a passport then?
The Passports is a book of all the different events that will be held this summer, and they cost $2. And I believe that, do you get something at the end of that, Randy? Do you remember?
They got prizes.
Yeah, they got prizes. So I've got one for my wife and I, but I didn't actually look at it too much. But it was cheap. It cost $2.
All right, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, caller.
Thank you for calling.
Send me a stamped envelope. I'll give you a couple of $5 passes over at the that wonderful little restaurant, 2 restaurants at the bottom of the hill, the Lakeview. Any other callers will call in and get the same. Don't forget, our number's easy to remember. It's 753-5225, or just Jack, 753-JACK. And this is your magic carpet into the universe. You want to say something, you want everybody to hear it? Do it. We're online, too. You can watch us anytime on YouTube. They stack them up there so you can watch old shows. They're archived, as we say. Greg Edwards, is he wound down now from running for lieutenant governor?
I think Greg Edwards is still full of enthusiasm. As I spent 3 days with him, he's highly respected across this state, and so he certainly has a great network of people out there. And every time he and I went up to a group, he introduced me, and they really respect Greg Edwards across the state.
Yeah, he was born in my great-grandfather's house in Panama.
Really?
Yeah. Where the school is,
Yep.
was my great-grandfather's horse ranch.
Yep.
He had a horse ranch.
Yep.
And you
So
go down School Street, there's a house
Yep.
there, which was his original mansion.
Yep.
And it was rebuilt and retaken over and refurbished and beautifully done.
Yep.
And they lived there for a little while.
Yep. But no, we had a great trip, and we stopped at one of the local restaurants coming back that he spent some time in last summer and had lunch. So, but he has the utmost respect across
Sweets,
the county.
the Sweets over there you mentioned. How are they doing? Now, where was it? Mr. Connell was the guy who built
Van McConnon.
what's his name?
Van McConnon.
McConnon.
Yeah, he owns several other buildings. And
some of the restaurants haven't done so well, though. I noticed he's closed them because he knows what he's doing. But the Suite seems to be running pretty well. It's close enough to Chautauqua. They must have a booming business during the summer.
Well, and they got a pretty good business during the winter now with the snowmobiles.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
What do the snowmobiles do? What do
They park there and unload their trailers, and they room there for the weekend.
Oh,
and they can leave right from the Suites and hit the trail. And so he's had several weekends he's been full with snowmobiles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's take another call, okay?
Yes, sir. Let's take another call.
Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
You're no problem. I would like to ask about the number of legislators we have compared to other municipalities,
Here we go,
other
yeah.
areas.
I'd love to answer that.
Yeah.
That's a big question, and now that we're downsizing everybody, I wonder what can be done about perhaps save money, etc., if we downsize somewhat.
We will be downsizing. The lowest number that I perceive us going to is 19. I've said that all along, but let me use this example. You remember our congressman, and Reed mentioned it prior to the show, during the show, is representation. Emil Holton used to be our National Congress representative.
Oh, I remember.
You remember him? I'm not saying that Brian Higgins isn't doing us justice, but I think we're a much better fit with the district we had before. I would love to see during the redistricting get that area back and give Erie County back to Brian Higgins. So that brings me to my point. I'm concerned, and as I travel my district, which is town of Chautauqua and the village of Sherman and town of Sherman, people seem to like my representation. They like to have someone that they can talk to is visible, and they're not too concerned about saving $9,000 for my salary. But what they are concerned about is representation. So I'm going to stand solid that we will redistrict. But we want to look at the exact numbers. My feeling is, and I'll be very blunt, I think we're going to have population loss in the city of Jamestown and the Dunkirk area. I think that we'll find that we haven't dropped that much, particularly in the rural areas. So I want to look at those final numbers before I decide on the right number. In other words,
How many do you have now?
We have 25 legislators right now, and I perceive us going to 19 at the lowest number. But I want to see that representation because, as people in the town of Chautauqua know, there's been the JCC chargeback that I fought. It was still passed. We've got this sheriff consolidation study going with the city of Jamestown with the police force. We simply cannot, as a county, afford to take over the police force in the city of Jamestown. Those are the things that we must continue to bring to the public. We must also fight to oppose them to make sure we don't have other expenses picked up by the county taxpayers. Furthermore, I also feel that when the time does come, we will also want to go out and talk to the public. This is the way your district's set up. I would like to, I mentioned the Town of Chautauqua board meeting last month. I would like to be able to come back to the Town of Chautauqua with some numbers and let them know exactly how their district may be reduced or set up. So I see this number, whatever it is, not really being enforced till 2013 election, because if you look back over the last 20 years, we've always had to redo the census every 10 years. That number would come out the end of March, and there's no way that you can know those numbers of those districts and be ready to pass petitions by the 1st of July. So my point is this: it's going to be 2 more years before we do whatever we do, and we want fair and equal representation. We have to look at these different election districts. I know when we redistrict here last time, the town Republican chairman came to me and says, I didn't know you took one Chautauqua voting district out of the town of Chautauqua and put it in with somebody else, and he was very upset. So I'm only saying, let the public see what we're doing, be very visible, have some public hearings, be prepared to vote for hopefully me next year as your legislator, because there'll still be 25, and then after that we'll move to 19 once we see how these numbers come in. And I hope that answers your question.
Well, yeah, you seem to know what you're talking about, and sounds like you're on top of it.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you, caller.
We'll wait and see.
Okay, well, you have a good day,
Thank you.
and give somebody Valentine.
All right.
That's right, Reed, it's Valentine's.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Coming up.
I'm taking my wife to Webb's on Monday night for Valentine's.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like fun. I'm going to just cook a nice steak dinner for my wife.
Are you?
Yeah. And I'm going to buy her a Valentine's Day, a beautiful card and some flowers and chocolates the day after.
Okay, well, they're having a very nice thing down there. Mrs. Keating is putting
Oh,
it
yeah.
on, and we're going to go. It's kind of a dinner theater thing.
Okay.
I'm not trying to advertise, but that just happened to be
Why
what we're
not?
doing.
That's what you're here for.
Well,
you can say whatever you want,
it's a beautiful
Webb's.
community.
What time is it?
It's 7 o'clock, I believe.
Uh-huh,
And
there
I
you
guess I
go.
bet you call Webb's, you'll find out Monday evening they have a dinner theater play there.
I'll bet Jim has a big setup there already.
We went a year ago too, and the people in this listening area know who John Keating's wife is, and I think probably they'll say, "Oh, I'm glad Fred mentioned that."
Yeah, okay, there you go, guys. Valentine's Day. What time?
7 o'clock
7
Monday
o'clock.
night.
Monday night. Monday night is Valentine's Day.
Monday is Valentine's Day.
Valentine's
Yes,
Day.
don't forget.
Okay, always. And you know, there's some poor people that are sitting around, nobody knows them, nobody hears about them, nobody cares about them. Send them a Valentine, brighten their
Yeah,
day, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And it can be a mystery one. You don't have to tell who it is.
Stop and talk to them. Yep.
Talking about the Chautauqua County redistricting and so forth, I heard we're losing population. Is that true?
Well, that's preliminary numbers show that, but we honestly don't know until the final numbers come in. I'm guessing we're still going to say around 130-some thousand people in this county.
130?
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to have 200,000 once upon a time.
That
didn't
could be. I don't know. That was
Long
really
time
before
ago.
I started
Yeah.
really paying
Right.
attention, I guess.
we? Right. Well, we're holding tight compared to a lot of New York State, I might add.
Yeah,
People
well-
are hiking up their skirts and running out of New York State
Yeah,
because of the taxes.
Well, but yet it's a pretty good place to be, and on Monday, I'll just add this as long as I can. I'm on the Blue Ribbon Task Force for Agriculture now at the state level.
Well, now you're an old cow farmer, right?
Yeah, but
you know cows.
But the point is, there's 3 reasons why people farm it in New York State and our county, and one of them is we really have a pretty good weather and growing season. We have plenty of water, and that's number 1. We're close to many markets, is number 2. And of course, we have many things we do to promote agriculture in this state, plus some land grant colleges. And so that's really why we are really proud of our agriculture, being number 1 in New York State and number 1 in Chautauqua County. But we've also suffered, just to point this out, a 76% decrease in ag funding over the last 3 years.
Now, where did that funding come from we've lost?
Well, it came from state tax dollars, and you know, this is part of the $10 billion budget gap that the governor's trying to close. But yet, we desperately still need organizations like FarmNet and Pro Dairy. But I just want to mention that because I'm proud to represent agriculture, and I'm proud to have had the chance to go to Albany last week and participate in this Blue Ribbon Task Force. So,
Well, Kathy's on that agriculture committee. Isn't
yes, she is.
She's,
Yes, she is.
She's kind of watching for us,
Yep.
but I think she feels that there's going to be more cooperation than last year.
Well, I'll use the term as like a love fest, because Dean Skelos came in and talked to us, and everybody does want to work together. But I want to watch them
Did Silver
because
drop around?
no, matter of fact, he was supposed to come to lunch on Monday, and so was the governor, and neither one of them showed up.
I'll be darned.
And that didn't make us very happy because we had over 800 county people in